Mr. Black, you say you're here today to finally prove that you are not the biological father of 4-month-old Javion Black.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say when the results reveal you are not the father, you no longer want the child to have your last name.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Rockmore, you say you are 100% sure Mr. Black is your son's biological father, and you are completely disgusted by his rejection of your innocent child.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Black, are you indeed rejecting Ms. Rockmore's child?
Yes, Your Honor.
And why?
When I met Miss Rockmore, we had sex on the first night. I got to know her, and when I was getting to know her, her ex was still involved, and I believe he still got something to do with her while we was trying to get to know each other. And I don't know what they had going on, but I mean that's one of my doubts.
Take me back. How'd you meet her?
I met her walking around my apartment complex. She was with some mutual friends.
Okay.
And I thought she was very attractive, and I talked to her. We exchanged numbers. We got to know each other a little better on that evening, and then we had sexual contact later on that night.
Same night you saw her walking around the parking lot?
Yes, ma'am.
So was this sex protected?
No, ma'am, it wasn't.
Miss Rockmore, how do you end up having sex with somebody unprotected after you just walking around an apartment complex?
It was just more because I really liked him.
Tell me.
It was just more because I really was attracted to him when I first seen him. Like, I was just instantly attracted to him when I first seen him. Yeah, I shouldn't have had sex with him the first night, but, you know, it happened.
So bottom line is you did, and there was no protection used?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you having sex with anyone else at the time?
No, Your Honor, I wasn't.
Were you in a relationship with anybody?
No, Your Honor, I wasn't.
Mr. Black, so why are you doubtful? She says she didn't even know anybody else, have sex with anybody else. She wasn't even dating anybody else.
I'm doubtful because at the time I was there and I was talking to her, that period of time, I seen her ex involved with her. And so, I mean, I don't know if she's capable of having sex with me.
So you said you saw her with her ex?
Yes, ma'am. He walked past me while I was at her house talking to her, and he went and took her to the store.
How'd you know it was her ex?
I knew it was her ex because she told me. That's
okay.
That's the last person she had intercourse with.
So if he came by and they went to the store, what would make you think they were even having sex? Was he just giving her a ride to the store?
No, I don't know what it was. It wasn't none of my business at the time. But I mean, you know, I didn't think me and her would have no baby later on. And her ex, I don't know what they had going on, but I didn't think we was in a relationship. I thought we was just talking.
And so when you were talking, was this during the window of conception? Because you were doing more than talking since you standing here now. Was this during the window of conception?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm trying to understand the doubt, Mr. Black, because you say, I'm doubtful that the child could be mine even though I slept with her during the window of conception without protection because I saw her ex come and they went to the store. That's not a good argument for court. I need you to come better than that.
Yes, ma'am. What it is, I saw her ex involved in her life. I believe that a man's not gonna be involved in your life unless he's doing something for you and he's expecting something in return.
So now give me more details. When you say you saw her ex involved in her life, besides this going to the store, what else did you observe?
I didn't observe nothing from him because I wasn't around her like that. That's where my doubt come from. I didn't stay with her, I didn't live with her.
Okay, hold on. Now see, the story's changing. You just said the reason why you were doubtful is because you saw her ex involved in her life, and if someone's doing things for you, they want something in return.
Yes, ma'am.
But the only thing you witnessed is them go to the store.
Yes, ma'am, but that's her baby daddy. So
could he have been coming to see his child?
No, ma'am, he couldn't be coming to see his child because his child wasn't in the car with him. His child was nowhere around them at the time I was there.
Bottom line is this. You're talking to a girl,
yes,
meaning
ma'am.
you all are having a casual sexual relationship or whatever you all doing at that point.
Yes, ma'am.
So when her ex comes around, is she standing with you before she goes to the store?
No, ma'am, she wasn't. I was just there. I was outside. She told me before he came over there, but my thing was, why is he coming over here? If I'm your man, I'm supposed to be your man, why are you asking him for something? Why don't you ask me? If you did need something, if you are going to the store.
But you said you weren't her man. You all were just talking.
We was talking, but we was getting to know each other.
You know, you all not gonna confuse me today.
I need loyalty in my life.
Now, do you? But what is she loyal to? You're not in a relationship.
You gotta show me you loyal. You gotta show me.
She
you
has
loyal.
a child with this guy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what if they needed to do something for their child?
She needed to tell me first.
But you're not her.
Yes, ma'am.
But you're not her boyfriend.
No, I'm not her boyfriend, but I'm.
So what does she have to get permission for you to go do something with her child's father?
If she want me to be her man, then she's gonna be loyal to me and let me know everything that go on.
So the point is you felt like at that point, you all were trying to get to know one another. You weren't committed yet.
Exactly.
But in the midst of us getting to know one another, you coming and getting picked up with your ex, and you felt like, just keep everything on the table, say, this is my ex, he's coming to pick me up because we need to do blah, blah, blah.
Yes,
or you felt like there was a little bit too much mystery, which made you feel like the lines could be a little blurred.
Yes, ma'am.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So now, Ms. Rockmore, at some point you find out you're pregnant.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
And when you find out you're pregnant, who do you tell?
The first person that I told was my mom, and that's because she went to the doctor with me. As soon as I left the doctor, I called Mr. Black to let him know that I was pregnant. And at the time, he didn't believe me until I showed him a sonogram picture. Then that's when he believed me.
So when you heard about the pregnancy, Mr. Black, she says you were doubtful, were you?
Yes, ma'am, I was doubtful. It was a month later. I got a calendar showing the time periods of where we had our intercourse in the time period. She showed me she was pregnant. She could have had sex with anybody from August to September.
Jerome, let me see this. The window of conception, this in green, when you were intimate with Ms. Rockmore, that was pretty much the whole month of July.
Yes, ma'am. The whole month of July, we was having intercourse, and that's when we met and we were talking. And I mean, like I said, we didn't talk very long. I thought we was just talking. Once she showed me she was unloyal to me, or she wouldn't let me know everything that was going on, I left. I left Palestine, Texas, and I was gone.
So in the blue, it says you moved to Dallas on August the 3rd.
Yes, ma'am.
And then in red, you see September, you were informed that she was pregnant.
Yes, ma'am.
And then in yellow, we see the birth date, Javion's birthday, it's the 15th.
Yes, ma'am. The times don't add up.
So what exactly are you trying to prove?
I'm trying to prove that he is not my child.
And how does this calendar help you in that proof?
It helps me in that way of showing you the time frame that we did have sex. She was on her period from the 21st to the 28th, and we had sex on the 30th one time. And she came to me on the 26th saying that she was pregnant. Between July 30th and September 26th, she could have had sex with anybody.
So you're claiming that the window of conception would have been between July 30th?
Yes, ma'am.
And when?
And I'm gonna say August 3rd.
So you believe there's no way based on this calendar that you are the father?
Yes, ma'am. Ain't no way I can be the father at all.
I may not be an OBGYN.
Yes, ma'am.
I was pretty good at math.
Mm-hmm.
I'm counting back and I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Mm-hmm.
I land in July.
But that's around the same time that her ex was involved. That's around the same time that I was seeing him.
Okay, I was just being clear because your testimony said that between the 30th and in August, she could have slept with anybody. So I'm saying, but she was sleeping with you throughout the month of July. And that seems to be closer to the window of conception.
Yes, ma'am, it is. But, you know, I mean, at the same time, I can't watch her. I can't say who she was sleeping with. If I slept with her one day, who's to say somebody else didn't come behind me and hit it too?
And so, Ms. Rockmore, did he help you at all during the pregnancy? Did he support you? Did he come to doctor's appointments?
He didn't help me at all. I went to every doctor's appointment by myself. Thing is, like, how can you deny him when you named him? You gave him your middle name. You gave him your last name.
So you gave him the last name Black. Did you sign the birth certificate?
No, ma'am. I'm not on any birth certificate.
But you just gave him the name.
I didn't give him the name. She gave him the name. I didn't agree to anything. She put my name on a hospital birth certificate. She gave him my name. I'm just doubtful all over, Your Honor. I mean, all I really wanted to do in the beginning was have sex anyway. That's all it was. It was just a one-time thing that happened and a baby came out of it, which is a blessing, but at the same time, I need to know if he's mine. I'm not trying to sit here and be paying for somebody's other baby.
And so, to date, he hasn't been there for the child?
No, Your Honor.
So your feeling is, I'm not connecting myself to this child, I'm not contributing a dime, I'm not doing anything that would remotely look like I'm stepping up to the plate as a father for this baby until I know for certain that it's mine.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Rockmore, in your statement to the court, you say it's been difficult.
Yes, Your Honor. Very difficult.
Tell me about that.
Like, throughout my whole pregnancy, I was sick to the point I was in and out of the hospital. I spent days in the hospital. I had to quit my job, you know, just because that's how sick I was. I had to quit my job. I was having to ask my family for money and everything like that.
And so since he's born, what has it been like?
Like, I just recently got a job. So it's been like very, very hard.
And how are you doing for childcare? Because I know that's expensive.
Yes, well, my boss, he helps me. He helps me out a lot with the childcare. So I've been grateful for that. So I've been doing okay with the childcare.
And so as you reach out to Mr. Black and talk to him about the child's needs, and this is the kind of responses you're getting every time?
Yes, Your Honor.
I see you brought a witness. I'd like to hear from her. Ma'am, please stand and step up to the podium. And your name?
I'm Miss Black.
You're Ms. Black?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are?
I'm his mother.
You are Mr. Black, the plaintiff's mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so I would love to hear what you know about this situation, given the side of the aisle you're standing on.
Well, Your Honor,
Yes.
I'm his mom, and I am very disappointed and I'm outraged that he would go this far to bring this young lady to court to prove that's his son. I'm here with her because I do believe that's my grandson. I raised my son better than that, to degrade women. If you're good enough to lay with that woman, then you're good enough to be there for that woman. So, you know, I'm just from the old school. So come step up to the plate, do what you gotta do.
And so, Ms. Black,
Yes, ma'am.
have you developed a relationship with Javion? Have you seen the baby?
Of course, yes,
You
ma'am,
have.
Your Honor, I love him, and he, to me, he's my grandson, whether he passed the test or not. He looks like my other son. He looks like Richard's 3 girls, and that's my grandson.
Mr. Black, how does
Yes, Your
it
Honor.
feel to hear your mother
It feels
speak so confidently about the fact that she really believes that's her grandson?
it feels a little bad, but I mean, you know, a mother. I mean, I feel like she should be on my side just because of the fact that she's mine, she's my mother, but at the same time, I can't say. I mean, her being my mom, I mean, we got children. I got 3 girls. I don't think he looks nothing like my daughters. I don't think he looks nothing like me. I mean, I got a wife at home. I'm engaged. I don't need these problems. And I'm trying to see if he is mine or if he's not mine, because this has turned up my relationship at home. I'm trying to move forward with my life and what I got going. He's not the only child, if he is mine, that I have. So I got 3 girls to take care of and him. So, you know, I'm trying to stop all the problems right here today. That's why I came to paternity court.
Good, good. And at this point, I think the only way to move forward is to get the results. Are we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
But Your Honor, that could be his first son. You know, that could be his first son, my first grandson. And like I say, whether the test reveal it or not, he's still my grandson.
In the case of Black v. Rockmore, when it comes to 4-month-old Javion Black, it has been determined, Mr. Black, you are the father.
All right. Okay. All right.
Well, there's a saying that mom knows best.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Feel
I'm so
emotional?
happy. I knew he was my grandson. You know, mothers know.
But Your Honor, I had to know for sure.
So now you have the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
What are you gonna do with it? Because that's really what this courtroom is about.
I'm gonna take
How are
care
you
of my
gonna move
son.
forward?
I'm gonna take care of my son and do what I need to do.
Good. And I see the tears. You feel emotional because now what,
Yeah.
did you just realize in that moment that you have a son?
Yes, ma'am, he is mine. I'm proud of it. I mean, you know, that's my boy. I'm gonna take care of him just like I take care of my girls. They all get spoiled.
Good.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll be glad to have him over on the weekends with the other grandkids.
And that's just where he belongs, over at Grandma's house, getting loved up on, doing probably a few little things he's not supposed to do, eating way too much cake. We all know how that is, but that's what every child deserves. I'm so very happy for you all. He's a beautiful, beautiful
Thank
little
you.
boy.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
Court
you.
is adjourned.
Mr. Kiesel, you say your marriage depends on today's paternity results after your wife announced that the child she is currently pregnant with may not be yours. You are here to prove you are the father and save your family. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Kiesel, you say it breaks your heart to stand in court to prove that your husband is not your unborn child's father, but you know the truth. Another man is.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Kiesel, why are today's results so important?
My marriage has been put on the line. A month into our marriage, she had cheated on me, and it led to where I might not be the father of this child. It was supposed to be a happy, great thing for us, and it's just caused problems and heartbreak and lots of issues for us.
So you're supposed to still be in the honeymoon, newlywed phase. And instead of that, you have a paternity issue.
Yes, Your Honor.
What is your day-to-day family life like?
It's caused us a lot of issues. We argue nonstop about who the father is, if I'm the father, if he's the father. It just causes causes us to be very distant from each other.
So, Ms. Kiesel, there's a lot of arguing going on in your household.
Yes, Your
Explain
Honor.
to the court how this is affecting you.
It has affected me in a huge way, not only just our marriage, but my pregnancy as well, because it's hard for me to necessarily, I mean, yes, I'm excited for it, but it makes it harder when there's so much stress put into the pregnancy. Rather than being everybody together, having a good time for like a baby shower. Say we were supposed to have a baby shower. That ended up getting canceled because both of the possible fathers' families wanted to be there, and that was just difficult. So it's put a lot of stress on me as well. I understand that I made the mistakes, but it has put a lot on me as well because of not being able to fully enjoy my pregnancy like a mother should.
I need to ask you this. What in the world would possess you to cheat on your husband 1 month after your wedding day?
We really rushed into a relationship. We had been dating on and off, but it was back and forth with my ex and him. We both have broke up a couple of times while we were dating. And then when we got married, it just was kind of like a let's go do this kind of thing. It was like, let's do it today. So we did, and I just feel like we might have got married a little too young. Not necessarily young, but quick. So that, I think, has a big effect on it as well because I wasn't fully over my ex.
So how soon after this cheating happened did you find out you were pregnant?
Just a couple of weeks later. It was around April 1st that the end of March, I found out I was pregnant. My husband and I were trying to have a baby. Anyway, so we had been taking a test once a week. And I happened to take one, and it was positive. And at first, I was really, happy and excited. And then just a couple seconds later, it hit me that I'm about to have to tell him something, no husband wants to hear.
So you found out you were pregnant first, and then you knew you had to tell your husband.
Yes.
Because you knew there was a possibility this other man could also be, your ex could be the child's biological
Yes,
father.
Your Honor.
And so, Mr. Kiesel, describe what happened when you take this pregnancy test with your wife, this test you've been doing once a week because you hope to conceive a child, and after this moment of, yes, we're pregnant, you have to get the news that, oh no, but you cheated.
It was crushing. We'd been trying for a while, and she was in the bathroom. She walked out crying and told me she was pregnant, and I asked why she was crying, and she told me that there's a possibility that I might not be the father. And that's just, I broke down myself, and it was heartbreaking that this thing that was supposed to be great, we'd been trying, we finally got it, and I might not even be the father of it.
So once you found out you were pregnant, what did you say to yourself? Did you say, okay, let me figure out a conception window and let me figure out who I was with during that time?
Yes, Your Honor. I got a conception
Take me
date.
through that process.
Okay, I got a conception day April 1st at my first. It wasn't really a doctor appointment. I had started spotting. So we went to the emergency room to confirm that I was even pregnant because we just had a home test done. So April 1st, I went to the emergency room.
And did they give you your conception date?
Yes, they did, Your Honor. It was March 8th.
March 8th. And now, Mr. Kiesel, when were you intimate with your wife?
We were intimate on the 8th.
You were?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's gonna be a K for Mr. Kiesel. I gotta ask you this, Ms. Kiesel, when were you intimate with your ex? Which day?
The 7th and the 9th.
Okay. So I don't think I have to say that these dates are very close in proximity. So, Ms. Kiesel, are you certain about these days?
Yes, Your Honor, because on the 9th, I actually got in a car wreck, and we had gone I had been taken to the hospital, and then later that night, that's how I remember the 9th. And then I just remember that 2 days prior was also. But the 8th, he wasn't around on the 8th. I know that for sure because he was working.
So, Mr. Kiesel, are you sure of the date you gave the court? March 8th?
I'm almost positive of it.
And so you believe, despite these dates being so close in proximity, that you are the child's father?
I do, Your Honor.
Tell the court why.
We have a nose that looks a lot alike. Mine goes down and then bubbles at the end, and with the ultrasounds that we had, the child had the same kind of nose.
You believe by looking at this ultrasound, it appears that you have a similar nose to the child.
And we have fat upper lips. I see it in the ultrasound as well.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I hope he's the dad. I want our marriage to work, and I want everything to be fine. And, well, not fine, because we're still going to have to work on, the dishonesty and stuff like that. But I do hope he is the dad, and I hope, things turn out for the best. But regardless.
But you understand that a hope is not proof. A hope is not evidence.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you say you believe the child is not his. You hope it is, but you believe it is not.
I have strong doubt, Your Honor.
You do?
Yes.
And that's because?
The conception date.
Do you remember being intimate with your husband on March 8th?
I honestly don't remember, Your Honor. The only reason I remember the ex is because of it being on the day of the car wreck.
And then you remembered you'd also had sex with him 2 days before.
Yes, and he was not there on the 8th because he was working.
So, Mr. Kiesel, are you just hoping you are the father, but you really don't have any proof, anything you can really hang your hat on?
Honestly, I have a cleft chin, and in some of the pictures, it's a little hard to see, but it's a very dominant trait. And I was born with bilateral clubfoot, and my father was, and my two brothers were as well, so it seems to run in my family. Whenever we were going through ultrasounds and having that done, it actually looked like his feet might have had some deformities in it as well, so that's another reason I also thought that the child would be mine.
Okay, so you're seeing more than just this nose. You were seeing from these ultrasounds that you believe that there are other characteristics that run in your family.
Yes, Your Honor.
This child also has.
Your Honor.
Yes.
We actually took some of the ultrasounds to my new doctor, and she actually did an ultrasound as well, and she did not believe there was any deformities or anything wrong medically with him. So that's another reason.
So you're saying this clubfoot that he believes he sees in the ultrasound, you've been told by your doctor that she did not seem to see any indication
Yes, Your Honor.
of this physical condition.
Yes.
So, Mr. Kiesel, you talked about that they run in your family, and many of the other men in your family have this characteristic. I want to learn more about that. Jerome, would you please escort Dr. Samantha Brown Parks into the courtroom? I'd like to hear from her. Hello, doctor.
Hi there.
Hello, thank you so much. Our couple, Mr. and Mrs. Kiesel, are here, and they are desperately trying to determine whether or not Mr. Kiesel is this child's biological father. He has talked about having a physical condition that runs in his family, a clubfoot. And I need to know from you, is this something that is hereditary? Is it something you can diagnose in the womb? Please tell the court more about this.
Okay. So clubfoot happens in about 1 in 1,000 live births in the US. So it's a fairly common birth defect. 1/4 of those have a family history of someone in their family having a clubfoot also. Is it genetic? It is familial, meaning that there are multiple factors. In fact, we know from a study in 2010 that tells us on chromosome 17, there's at least 4 different genes that play a role.
Okay.
So you can inherit those genes from one or both parents, and they can make you more likely to develop clubfoot. There's not one gene and clubfoot, there's multiple genes.
Oh.
As far as whether or not you can diagnose in utero, you can for sure see it. At about 20 weeks, we do an anatomic scan of the fetus, and we look for abnormalities. So from the picture that we've seen, the still shot, the 2D shot of the foot, it's not possible to tell.
Okay.
Yes or no.
Because the court did give you the scans we received, and you were able to review those.
Correct.
And upon reviewing them, you don't feel like you can say.
Cannot say yes or no.
Okay. After hearing the testimony of the doctor, Mr. Kiesel, has your opinion changed as to whether or not you believe this child is your biological child?
Not really, Your Honor. From what I saw in the ultrasounds, I thought I saw the clubfoot. I see many resemblances between us, and...
But have you been honest with yourself about these feelings you've had thus far? Meaning, I want the child to be mine, I believe the child is mine, but I do know for certain that there is a very real possibility that this is not my biological child.
I understand the possibilities. I want this child more than anything. We had been trying for a child and we finally got it. I missed one appointment due to work, and that's all I've missed. And I've been here every step of the way, and this is my child, and it needs to be my child.
And how does it make you feel that your wife is saying, I don't think you are the father?
That hurts extremely bad, seeing that I'm there. Instead of it just being, you might not be the father, she's saying she thinks I'm not. And that dampens the mood between us.
I can imagine. Ms. Kiesel, you said earlier in your testimony, you believe the child is not his. You hope it is, but you believe it is not.
Yes. I want him more than anything to be the biological father, but we don't have any proof yet, which is why we're here today, is to finally settle this, because afterwards there won't be any doubt. No matter which way it goes, we won't have to wonder anymore.
Absolutely. And I don't want you to wonder anymore. So I want to get you these results. Jerome? In the case of Kiesel versus Kiesel, when it comes to the child Mrs. Kiesel is currently carrying, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Kiesel, you are the father.
I know that has to feel good.
I'm sorry. A little bit.
How's it feel, sir?
Amazing.
I'm so happy for you. And I know those are tears of joy. And I can imagine you have cried the other kinds of tears up until this point. And that's why I believe the truth is so special and so important and so necessary, especially in situations like these. And I'm so happy you had the courage to come here today before the baby was born and have this done and have this settled. So now you all can regain and reclaim the joy you lost in the doubt, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right? And prepare for the delivery.